Good morning, YouTube. This morning I'm going to do a, once again, very shallow tabletop review of the Desert Eagle 50 cal made by Magnum Research. This is the Mark 19. Over the years, the Desert Eagle has been owned by several different companies, and Magnum Research owns them now. The rights to them. This is a very popular weapon, considered a probably icon at this point. It's in all kinds of movies. You know, most people see them and you recognize them immediately. It's a very popular weapon. But as popular as it is, not many people get the opportunity to shoot one, carry one, handle one, because they're very expensive. You can probably find them ranging from $1,900 to $2,300. And most people don't want to spend that much for a weapon that isn't something that you would carry every day or truly rely on. And the reason you wouldn't carry it every day is this thing weighs about 4.4 pounds, about 4.5 pounds. For comparison, very popular weapon system is the Glock 19 or firearm. And this Glock 19 is something you would carry every day, and it weighs about 1.5 pounds. So this is a whole 3 pounds heavier. And that's significant, especially depending on the way you carry it. This is the 6-inch barrel version. There's also a 10-inch barrel version, which is even more obscene than this one. And you have plenty of choices. There's all kind of finishes. There's gold tiger stripe. There's like a burnished, almost Damascus looking finish. There's all kinds of things you could do to make it flashy. I bought this one in this nickel plated, and it had a black Pachmeyer type grip on it. I put this micarta type grip on it just because I like it better. It holds your hand better to me, and it allows your hand to wrap a little better. I have a fairly large hands, a little above average, but even with that, it's difficult to completely wrap your hand around it if you needed to use it in any type of situation. And I have, just like anything, when I buy things, I want to use them. I don't put them in a safe and protect them for the most part. And so one of the options that I looked at for making it a viable carry weapon, if you would carry it, is this Alien Gear holster. It has dual retention points, padded. These things are the best holsters hands down that I have ever used. And when you not broken in completely. And when you put this thing on your hip, it takes away most of the weight. You don't feel it, especially if you have a belt with a steel shank in it, like you should if you carry a handgun. And so it makes it where it's actually a weapon you could carry, although I don't recommend it. When you carry a weapon, it needs the most important part of the weapon you carry is your ability to pull that weapon efficiently. Draw training is the most important part of owning a handgun. And so your handgun needs to be something that you can access quickly, put on target quickly, and 4.5 pounds and it's 14.75 inches long. Correction, this one's 10.75 inches long. The 10-inch barrel version is almost 15 inches. But it's still, could likely beat someone to death with this. It is a monster. And a lot of people that have never fired it are scared to fire it because of the size of it. I mean, the rounds in it are monstrous. These are the Hornady self-defense ammo for the 50 cal. And you know, speaking of ammo, that's another thing. There's not tons of ammo options for this weapon. They're expensive. You're lucky if you can find them for $2.50 a round. Some of them are $4 a round. They're spendy, and when you go to the range with it with a few people and everybody wants to put a few mags through it, you probably could have bought you a Glock with the price of that ammo by the end of the day. But it's an experience, and a lot of people love the experience of shooting it. And the main reason for that is people would think it would break your wrists shooting something like this. But it's surprisingly easy to handle. The Desert Eagle runs off of a rotating bolt system. So it's a gas impingement system, much like your AR. And because of that, it makes it a much easier weapon to handle. And if you've never owned one or taken one apart and looked at it, you think like $2,200 is a hefty price tag for a pistol that you're probably not going to carry every day. But when you do take it apart and you look at it and look at the thought process, the R&D that went into it, it's worth the money. It is very well machined. It is very well put together. It is very very tight tolerances, and it is extremely accurate. You wouldn't think that it's accurate, but it is extremely accurate, and I attribute that to the gas impingement system that it operates off of. It's got a 4-pound trigger. It's a nice trigger. You have to get used to it. A lot of people anticipate recoil because of the size of the weapon, and more importantly, the weight. When you level it out, you know, 4.5 pounds is a lot for most people. Even if you have average size hands, you won't feel very secure holding this handgun. You're going to feel like it's going to jump out of your hand. And I've let my daughters shoot it, and other people with smaller hands, and they don't enjoy it as much as someone that can actually wrap your hands around here. And with the other grip, it was even more difficult to do so. But for what it is, it's an amazing weapon system. The fact that you have 50 Action Express in your hand is amazing. And you can also get a Desert Eagle in 44. This one holds 7 in the mag, 1 in the chamber, and the 44 holds 8 in one. Me personally, I would never buy a Desert Eagle unless it was 50 cal or 50 AE. Just because that's what makes the Desert Eagle to me, is the fact that it's a 50. And I bought it. I've shot them before. I've gone to a range where they rented these, and the older versions of them, probably some 15 years ago. And back then, the one that I had been going through the ringer. I'm sure it's had thousands of rounds through it, and it had a rattle to it. And that was my impression of them, is that they were fairly cheap-made weapons, kind of a gimmick. And then I handled a few at a gun show, and then finally, as I was at a gun store one day, and he had 3 of them on the shelf, and he had the flashier ones, but I went with this one. It looks classy to me, and I handled those weapons, and there is no rattle. You feel something there or hear something there, but it's nothing like I experienced before. Very, very well-made weapon, and I've put maybe 300 rounds through here at this point, and it's still very, very tight weapon system. I mean, for something to have in the safe, something as a conversation piece, something to take to the range, shoot it, let other people shoot it, have it, photo opportunities. I mean, whatever you want to use it for, it's definitely a piece of art, something you could hold on to. And the resale value on them is tremendous. But I wouldn't recommend, buying it as an everyday carry. Although, I mean, you could, you just it wouldn't be as advantageous as a more controllable weapon system. But it is fun to play with, no doubt. And if you have the money and you wanted to buy something fun, that's not only fun but well made, it's almost like a piece of art, then I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it as an everyday carry, like I said, but for something to buy, take to the range, shoot. Very nice weapon system. So yeah, maybe this helps someone if you're thinking about purchasing a Deagle, Desert Eagle. I like mine. Have a good day.